Shalom, YouTube. This is Sister T.
Sister Ebony, and Sister Tay.
And welcome again to The Rock. So, we're back for video 1 of our series. The first video was introduction. And we're going to be talking about talking. And how we talk to, in our opinion, or in our emotions, or in a way that we think that we are giving our masters, husbands advice, or we just wanted to express something and it actually ends up being dishonorable, disrespectful, or we're talking out of term, or we're giving an unwarranted opinion, or we are being corrected and we give this disrespect either verbally or in our emotions. That comes out in our body language. Yes. Or that comes out in our demeanor. Or it comes out when we are just in our behavior, our mood change. Mm-hmm. That's what we're discussing in this one. So as you know, I talked in the last video that I am more expressive. And so normally what has been the norm for years has been me feeling some way or being emotional about something, especially if I believe that I had set out to help. Like, I want to help my master in some way. Like, so something's happening, I'm trying to offer help. I may offer an opinion, or I may just express something, and the way I'm thinking about it, I have this expectation, whether it be known or unknown, in my mind, that he's gonna perceive that my help. He's gonna receive my help. And then if he does not and he reject it, then I'm rejected. And in my rejection, I speak. So usually that's how that normally works. I feel like I came to help. You're being mean. You're rejecting me when all I want to do is help. And then I deal with my emotions using my voice. And I will speak. All I try to do is help. Why do you have to be so mean about it? These are how events have happened over the years. Kind of like, well, I'm just trying to help. Like, what's the purpose of me helping if all he's going to do is, and I express. I'm not very good at just holding it in. And if it's held in, it ain't going to be held in long, especially if I'm thinking about it. And in all these ways, this is all dishonor, disrespect. Because the trouble usually is, did he ask for that help? Do you even know what you're talking about? What gave you the idea that he wanted this opinion expressed, or he wanted this information? How do you know that what the information you're giving is even help? You know, because you thought it was. That's just one aspect and one angle of it.
Do you have any new understanding, or I guess learn any new ways that you can handle being over talkative?
Tips, tricks. Nowadays, I am better than I was. Ebony is my go-to person, because Sister Ebony here, is very quiet. And so sometimes I can ask her things, or I watch her and her actions, and sometimes I see with her interactions with our master is she don't always feel like she has to talk. First of all, she very rarely talks, but when she does, it's really? So little. Okay, maybe this past year she talks more. She's been coming up. She's been talking a little more, but when she first got here, especially the first couple of years, she didn't do a lot of talking. And she didn't have, like, her emotions was always dealt so internally. And I didn't know how to do that. Like, I will explode. Like, that's just too much emotion to be trying to hold inside. It's confusing to me to keep it all in my head. But when I watched her in correcting, my master have corrected her, a lot of times
it came out.
It came out sometimes, but it's so rare compared to me. I guess maybe
I'm talking about it came out. It may not come out verbally.
Okay. So verbally it didn't come out.
Yeah. But it would come out in other ways, which we'll talk about.
You will talk about in a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so a lot of times, actually, I spent a lot of time watching her, and when I felt I had to express something, if we are getting corrected together or in a situation where we're both there, a lot of times, and now Taylor, when she come along, it was very similar. I'll look at Ebony and I'll look at Taylor, and I'm like, they don't feel the need to say nothing. So why do I feel like I have to say something? Oh my gosh. And it's so frustrating, because I truly want to know, like, have that control. So now in days, I realize if I'm not in a situation, if I'm not in the mindset of defending myself, defending my position, I'm able to be quiet more. And in fact, I know in the last, I want to say 6 months or so, um, I haven't perfected it, but I do think I'm getting close. Because Ebony, I was talking to Ebony even as late as 6 months ago, and even up to now. But I talked to Ebony several times, and she's like, "Your mouth has come a long way from when I first came. At least she's, I don't know what it was, but before, but from when I first came, and how much you feel like you have to, express stuff, say something. She's like, your mouth has come a long way. Like I see a whole lot of way more just being quiet, just letting the situation go, just not feeling neat. And so she said, I feel pretty good. Like I'm like, okay, because she's quiet and she's around. When she's around me enough, she knows how much I wanted to express stuff before. She see me express stuff with just them. If we are having a conversation, she see me express stuff with my master where I felt like I had to defend my position. And she's like, you are still every now and then maybe say something. She said, but you're not doing it nearly as much. It's and if you get corrected on it, you'll be quiet versus before. I'm like, but I'm just trying to, it's always that. Would you not understanding my, and so, but where the tips and stuff come from really is what I'm working on now, and I've been working on it a little bit. And sometimes I still have a little, like where I may not think I'm defending myself. If I don't think I'm defending myself, but I think the situation needs to be resolved, I speak, or I'll try to say something. And if he responds and I'm defending myself, I try to shut it back down then, because then if I'm speaking, I'm like, well, I didn't think this was defending myself. At what point is it not, So those are things that I still working on. But I think the biggest thing is not having to have an opinion about everything, because everything don't need your opinion, and just getting comfortable with that. Because you can be quiet and say, I don't have to have an opinion, but you really want one. I can say for sure, over the last year in general, most of my opinions have died down so much. Like I don't really care to have an opinion on a lot of things now. And defending myself has been the most newest one. Like where, well, you don't understand why I was doing this or what I was thinking or whatever. That's been the most newest, but I've already seen progress in when I don't feel the need to defend myself. I'm a lot better. I don't even want to talk as much, so I don't want to say as much. I don't feel like I have to defend myself as much when I don't have to come from the position of you don't understand me. I just tell myself, well, he don't have to. If he wanted to understand me, he would ask me that, right? So if he's not asking me, there's a reason, and it maybe it's not as important as I thought it was. So those are the newest ones I can tell you. If you stop trying to defend yourself, I think that can really help with having to express everything that's going on or express your hurts and your pain. You don't have to keep defending everywhere you're coming from. They have a mouth. They know that they can ask you. And that's another thing I tell myself, and I ask myself, he know how to ask me how I'm feeling about something. He knows how to ask why. Why are you doing this, Tanisha? What were you thinking? If he didn't ask, it was intentional. So then why am I trying to make him hear what I would, why am I trying to make him hear how I felt about something, or make him hear, my thought process in doing something? Because he know how to ask. He is the head. He can say, well, what were your thought process when you were doing this? And he didn't ask me. And, lately that's one of those things I wonder, well, why didn't he ask me? So then why am I trying to make him hear it? It seemed like a kind of a control thing. Like you want him to come to you the way you want him to come to you. And that has really helped me in my thinking, and not just wanting to just express a whole bunch of stuff. Because he knows how to ask. He has a mouth. And then I've been getting corrected a lot on stop trying to defend yourself. And to me, I didn't think it was defending myself. So the long time, it's really hard to determine, okay, what's defending yourself and what is just stating what's going on, And more importantly, I'm like, well, since I don't know the difference all the time, or the right timing to express something, then I need to spend the initial time, especially when being corrected, and not trying to say a whole bunch of things, and I think that's been helpful.
So another aspect we want to talk about too, because she's more the verbal talkative. There is a non-verbal talkative which I fall into, is not expressing myself with my mouth or saying things with my mouth, but because I internalize, I am still thinking. I do have my thoughts, I have my emotions, that are, can be the same, but she talks more about it and expresses it and says it, whereas I don't. I internalize it. And so you can still be talkative without being verbal in your demeanor, in your behavior,